What's up, everybody? We're here with another episode of That's the Point with Brandon, and I have a special guest here today, and his name is AJ. So I don't know if you guys know or remember, you guys go check out the video where we did our podcast. We went into a couple of things such as Deep State, Obama being and Get More Already. So today what we're going to be touching on is the secret arts and the dark arts and how that plays into our reality of life.
Start off that, I kind of want to say something about what happened last time.
Yeah.
So last time I was on your channel, I said that, I heard some things from God that, that God was going to make you big, blow you up. 2 days later, here he is taking on Antifa. And oh my gosh, the videos that come out, that I saw it when you're on Coxinator. And Arrest Me for What? There's the South Park, the voiceover, hilarious. Oh my god! But what's interesting about that though is how I heard and how I saw that is all related to the secret arts. Have you seen The Matrix before?
Yes.
So Matrix, when Neo discovers who he is at the end of the movie, he sees everything in green coding, right? He sees all the mainframe really of the Matrix, and that is in the end game of what the secret arts does. Secret arts is what allows you to hear and to see in all points, meaning you can see something afar off from when it's coming, know the end from the beginning. Deep stuff, super deep stuff. But it's how to be a politician, it's how to be a mathematician, an economist. It's to know what way a market's going to go. There's economic indicators that you can predict what way a market's going to go, if it's going to collapse or not. And so when I speak, especially to someone in their life, and I say something like, I heard from God, I speak because I see through this science, this infrastructure, because spiritual things actually touch a scientific sort of format. There's a spirit science out there, and it is a real thing. But I was looking into that because it made my decision to come on your show the first time. I was like, Lord, should I do this? Should I talk to him? And Lord's like, I'm using him. You need to go talk to him. That's where it started. Then I started looking into certain things, and the Lord showed me that you're going to get really big. But also, he told me that you're going to get bigger in the next season. And we talked about that. That I won't reveal on camera. But 2 days later, all that stuff happened, and you blew up. It's very entertaining. So, I have a wrestler background, so I was like, yeah.
Definitely. Every time I watch that video, it definitely gets me amped up.
It got all my friends amped up. Now we're all like, y'all going skiing today?
So I guess the question I would say is, what is the secret arts and what is the dark arts?
On my channel, this is what I say is to understand the dark arts, you got to understand the secret arts. Okay. So they're both interrelated. You need to know both. They're dichotomies, one of another. Secret arts is broke down first into 7 arts and sciences. When you go to Hollywood, or if you know people in Hollywood, a lot of stuff that you hear is like Illuminati this, Illuminati that, right? Secret societies. And you're like, well, what do they know in secret societies? What do they learn in secret societies? And is all that stuff really real? Is it really true? I'm in Hollywood and I do certain things, but I first came here, as you know, from our last interview for Dancing with the Stars, and I went all the way up to the doors of that to try to get on that show. In that journey is how I came across all the information. That's all I can really reveal of that. And I'd say that on the last interview, I can't reveal too much of how I learned.
Not mentioning who or where, but there was a specific sort of people or person that enveloped you, took you in, and exposed you to this type of knowledge.
There's a whole education process. And what's crazy is you can know the stuff on the higher levels, but it doesn't become a part of you until you live it out. You have to start playing it out and playing a game, because it works by experience. That's how you move up in your scales. Last time I said it goes stone, wood, iron, bronze, silver, gold, star. There's 7 levels to it. Okay. I'm a 4th level right now, so I'm starting to hit day 5. What they do the days of the week as well. So it's 7 days, or 7 different, like metals,
Gotcha.
like a metal test,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's 7 levels to it, and the first 4 is you get your foundation, but it relates to the best way to explain the secret arts is it relates to the 7 arts and sciences that you can Google. You just Google search, 7 arts and sciences.
So Google 7 arts and sciences.
Right.
Okay.
So you can learn what those topics are online. I mean, you can.
Do you break them down also on your channel?
I haven't yet. I just listed what they were in the first 2 videos.
But you go over an overall of.
Yeah, because
okay.
there's so much content from 1 to 7 that I'm hitting big pictures at every level what it is, and then I have to do side stories to move up further and what they are.
Gotcha.
Because it'll be a bridge too far as you keep going. So you got to tell certain stories, and everything relates to the Bible.
Right.
Because that's actually where the secret arts and dark arts originally was stored, was in those things. I mean, if you've the mainstream, what's it called? The Secret. Have you heard about The Secret?
The book, yeah.
Yeah, the Law of Attraction.
I read of it. Yeah, I read it actually. I read that one. Then they have one that's after. There's like 3 of them. It goes The Secret, something else, and then something else. And I read them, and basically, for me, what I got out of it was basically what I learned out of the Bible already. Right. Was that you speak things into existence, into the world. You speak things out. They call it the universe. I call it God. You speak things out into the universe to where God can hear it, and it manifests itself either negatively or positively depending on how you water that seed.
Right.
So basically, what they're doing, or what you were saying, is the secret. How they try to teach you that type of knowledge when that's all in the Bible that you could find.
Right.
That's where it stems from. But from my point of view, people, ones that are not of God, and not everybody believes in God, and that's respectable. But for me, and for what I stand for, and what I believe in, and for what I've learned through my study and experiences, is that it is real. There is a spiritual realm out there, and there is certain ways to lost arts, if you will, lost arts, mm-hmm. lost ways that us as the average human being, if you will, can connect to that.
Right.
But it's very dangerous grounds. That's very murky water to get into, because if you learn the wrong way how to enter that, that's a whole world of pain that you're going to enter into that you don't even know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not everybody on my channel agrees or believes with that, but I wouldn't be true to myself if I hid that about me. You know what I mean?
Yep. No,
so with the secret arts, is there different things as opposed from the secret arts to the dark arts? So the secret arts has this and this and this, and then the dark arts has this and this. Is that what it like? Does it hold different things?
Well, let me explain it this way. So to finish up about the secret. It's that when I watched that movie, The Secret, because it's also a movie, they said that this comes from ancient documents. That's all they said.
Right.
Right, because they were trying to sell it as a secular thing, but it's a spiritual thing. It's a Bible thing. It's actually in there, and what's genius. And this is what I'll say now is that the way the Bible is written, in the stories is hidden these. Like these little Easter eggs, right? Like they say when you watch a movie, you see these little Easter eggs. You got to find the little Illuminati like symbols and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible's written the exact same way.
Subliminals.
Yeah, subliminal stuff is in there, and so you'll see a word in one book, and that word will be in another book, and you'll link them together and begin to create this vine. There'll be a bunch of them everywhere, but it's a thread, and then you pull that thread out, and it begins to show you a secret image of the way everything works. But the way the Bible is written, it's genius. It's written with that same infrastructure, but you can do the same thing by when you make a scene, like in a movie, you can place certain things in the scene and inside the dialogue that's written. They do it all the time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's kind of where the secret arts is hidden, like that in the Bible. That's where the ability to the law of attraction, that's in there too. The secret arts is broke down in 4 topics, even though there's 7 arts and sciences that explain these 4 topics. The 4 topics are times, keys, scales, and frames. Those 4 topics breaks down the infrastructure to how everything's made. The
times,
keys, scales, and frames.
Okay.
Everything is frames, meaning everything is a frame in that you can frame your words, you can frame your actions.
And framing, you mean as in structuring?
Structuring, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Right now we're in a scene. Right now we're talking on camera, but eventually this interview will be over. I will leave. I'll go to another scene. There's a route I take, right?
Uh-huh.
So like when you get pulled over by a cop will be like, where are you coming from? Right? They can thread back to where you, if you say, oh, the bar, automatically they're going to start searching you, right? They're going to go deeper.
DUI maybe.
Right.
Things like
so
that.
that's interrogation and like lawyer, how they'll screen you and interrogate you. That is a part of a frame process. A frame is a thread.
Okay.
It's a stream, a channel. It's infrastructure, right? But those are external frames. Those are your pathways that you walk in. There's internal frames. That's how your words are framed, right? In your mind and everything. There's NLP, neuro linguistics programming. It's all in here. Then there's frames of the air, and that in essence is like, if I go to LA, I can feel like there's like a dark cloud over LA, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like dark things are happening there. But if I go to like the Midwest or even Orange County, it just feels brighter. It's just something about the air just feels a little bit lighter.
So what I attest that to being oppression, like a heavy negative energy flow.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And there's so many names for it. I won't get into that now, but keys are things that open up doors, opportunities, open up spiritual doors, like you can let in angels and demons. It touches that. So how do you know when, like
the Solomon's key? The lesser key?
Someone on my channel wrote that in the comments. I haven't. It's a book, right? The Solomon's Key. I haven't read it yet, but now I got to go buy it now because like
they have the lesser key and the greater key of Solomon, and what that does is pretty much break down how he was able to manipulate spirits and angels to do his work to build his temple.
Oh shoot! Yes, that's got to be what. Yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah.
So I got to read that book, see like if you know what
touches on Tetragrammatron and
yeah. Oh shoot! I got to really read this book because
it's
I want to see what someone else wrote on it.
It's a really good book, but it's very dangerous if you don't read into it with a good heart.
Right. Yeah.
It's a very dangerous book. Though.
Yeah. But okay, I'm wondering how much they reveal in there then.
Oh, it's
pretty deep stuff.
It's pretty deep stuff.
So that's why there's 7 arts and sciences, right?
Mm-hmm.
These things explain the secret arts, and secret arts is 4 topics: times, keys, scales, frames. So there's the art of music.
Okay, so this is the 7 arts and sciences.
7 arts and sciences.
Okay.
Music is one of them. And now you can study music theory online, and it's actually easy, super easy. There's some great teachers online, but you don't have to know it. I mean, you should know it to play an instrument, but you don't have to go search out like I want to learn an instrument. But what you should search out is learning music theory. It was called your circle of fifths.
Okay.
That's like a 5 circle of fifths. Like if you learn that and memorize all the key signatures and stuff, that is something that you're going to need to know to help explain scales. That structure that's in music theory is in the spirit realm.
Gotcha.
And so, I say that to say this: how music has certain tones. When you speak and you do certain actions, you put out certain frequency. Another synonymous thing to music is like the rainbow, the colors of the rainbow, right? There's different colors in light spectrum, and there's different frequencies to sounds, right? In a scale, in a spectrum or a scale, same thing. A spectrum is a scale, right? And there's different colors that makes one big light spectrum, and there's different tones that makes your music scale.
Right.
The way the spirit realm works is that you can read when something's super dark or super light. You can read what door is going to open up. This is how you'll know what shall be. And that leads to the final topic, which is your times. How do you know when times are good? Like, man, times are hard right now, or times are evil, you know? Mm-hmm. Or like, man, good times. Like how do you know when times are going to be good or times are going to be bad? What's all tied to that? You need to know these topics. How do you know when a nation's going to be conquered? How do you know when a nation is being birthed? How do you know when a nation's going to do well or it's not going to do well? By all these things. And these are deep secrets. And this is how prophets prophesied. They were called seers because everything's in a grid, and you can see the end from the beginning. That's why there's some of the symbols are like an eagle. Like an eagle's like way up high, right? He can see the end of the road, right? When you climb a mountain, you can see afar off.
Yeah.
So these things go inside you to allow you to see afar off, or what they call the end from the beginning, or to hear and to see in all points. Because there's the grid that you see is like a constellation. There's lines and points, kind of like the infrastructure of like electricity, your veins in your body, your central nervous system, pipelines, circuitry on a circuit board.
Mm-hmm.
All of it's interrelated. Basically, the 7 arts and sciences is called the knowledge of God. It lets you know that there is, like, holy crap, like this pattern is in everything. It wakes you up to there's got to be a creator. So that's why it's so deep. So yeah, those 4 topics is the secret arts. I mean, the best movies are made with the secret arts. Like I said, Matrix was one of them. Lego Movie.
Yeah.
Lego Movie is awesome.
Yeah, I find that a lot of those animated movies, they give you a lot of keys and knowledge, and it's almost like they know the kids are gonna watch, and it's just slowly like planting a seed into their heads, and to the way they want to manipulate and mold it. You know what I mean?
That's the major topic of times. Like I said in my first video, times is controlled by high places. High places are offices. There's 7 spheres of influence. Those 7 spheres was what births a nation, right? Your media sphere, like that you're touching the media sphere right now. There's arts, entertainment, and there's like government, business, education, family, and religion. Those 7 spheres of influence are 7 mountains on which you birth a nation or conquer a nation. Basically, if you put a person at the top or a team at the top, the whole rest of the bottom of the mountain will listen to who's at the top. That's why influence is at the top. Yeah. And all those scriptures are in the book of Job. The book of Job is the deepest book in the entire Bible. All the rest of the prophets wrote. It's the oldest book in the world. I don't know if you know that, but a lot of people don't know that. That is it was before Moses wrote the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible. But it's the deepest stuff comes out of there. It's, I mean, I read it. I've read it a million times, and I still get something new out of it every single time. Yeah. This is genius stuff. But it basically says that one of the scriptures in there, it says you're wet with the showers of the mountains. Meaning, and think about this is really deep. If you think about it, the snow that's on the tops of the mountains, when the sun hits it, it's going to turn to a vapor, forms a cloud, right? The wind blows it wherever it wants to, and then it moisture builds and it drops rain. So you're wet with the showers of the mountains. And that's a sign that God made, that whatever's at the high places, whatever they speak, whatever they shower down on you, whatever they rain down on you with their words and their actions, the images, it will go on you, and it will begin to move the masses. And that is one of the scriptures that reveals that.
So with that being said, you would urge our listeners that it is being used, that the secret arts and the dark arts is being used within our reality of today, within the people in the higher ups that know this type of knowledge, that use it to control the masses, if you will. Mm-hmm. Especially, if you have that type of advantage in knowledge. Knowledge is everything. Knowledge is key. Knowledge is life. It would behoove the listeners for you guys to go and research this thing. Everything that he says, look it up. Research it. Go to his channel. Go to his page, and he breaks down things. That's at where? The Hollywood Hustle, right?
Hollywood Hustle, yeah.
It's a featured channel on my YouTube channel. So it should be, I don't know if you're looking at my page, it should be to your right, and it'll be in my featured channels, or on the left, depending on how the setup is. So we're going to go into the dark arts.
Dark arts is something it's really popular now. It was popular before in a different way. When our nation was in a good place, things were censored. You didn't have to use as much discretion because it was more of a PG world. Mm-hmm. You had the husband and wife sleep in 2 different beds on camera.
Yeah, cursing wasn't allowed on TV or radio for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
There were standards, and the standards have lowered, and they've removed secret arts, the ability to understand what those things are. You can almost, I don't know what's that on YouTube, but there's an old Donald Duck cartoon that talks, Sacred Geometry, Donald Duck.
I'll be a prosthetic kid.
Look that up. That's freaking. That will explain the secret art of geometry.
Yeah.
And there says there's music and there's geometry. The secret art of geometry is right there. Donald Duck, YouTube, freaking.
Secret art of geometry.
Secret art of geometry is it?
Yeah.
Sacred geometry is secret art of geometry. Same thing. A lot of this stuff is inside yoga, but they've even dumbed down yoga. Yoga teaches that there is 7 chakras, and that is just because yoga teaches it doesn't mean it's a yoga thing. No, it was taught
knowledge
before.
Is knowledge. Yeah,
knowledge
they all had to
knowledge.
spawn from somewhere.
Right. Yeah, it's something that's very old, but those wheels, they say they're different colors, right? Like different colors of the rainbow. Like it shows you a spectrum. But I'll say it this way: spiritual things have light.
Different hues.
Different colors of light. It's showing you the spectrum that the colors of the rainbow is interrelated with the 7 chakras, right? But it doesn't mean that chakra is really that color. They show it that way so you get the concept, but really all the colors are in you, especially if you are in the same nature as light. When that spiritual energy pours out of you, it's in New Age you call it your aura, but the old school word in the King James version of the Bible is countenance. So you can see what's in your heart and what's in your mind. You actually wear it. And so those 7 outlets show you, they pour out the energy and shows you what's right onto you and close you. So yoga took that away, in that they said if you eat certain fruits and vegetables that are certain colors, it opens that chakra. And that's not true. Your spiritual growth is not dependent on food you eat, on the sun going up and the sun going down. Your spiritual growth is contingent upon your behaviors and what you know. Eating fruits and vegetables, certain colors, is not going to open up your chakras. Chakras are wheels. A wheel is a circuit. If there's a break in your circuit, you're shorting yourself. You got to shorten your circuit. Therefore, no energy is in that wheel. If you can bind up the breach, a breach is a break, like a breach in your wall. If you can bind that up or heal it, heal the brokenhearted, you now have a whole circuit. You're whole. But when you are there's a gap there. There's something missing. You're in part. There's something partial that you're missing that you don't know. There's a blind spot. But when this thing connects, it begins to make a compass of eyes. And it's called the eyes of your understanding, because when you close your eyes and picture yourself on a beach, that's an image. You're using your imagination. You're seeing around. You're looking inside your head. When you talk and count in your head, that's a voice, right? Those are your eyes and your ears, your internal eyes and ears. When you can hear and you can see on the inside those answers, or light comes, where something dawned on you, like, oh, that's the answer. I don't need to behave that way. I can behave this way. You get the answers to life. Mm-hmm. That binds up the brokenhearted. It binds up those breaches in your wall and creates a whole wheel. And then your circuit is now going to make this energy that your emotions can feel. Then all of a sudden, that's when you feel peace. That's when you feel joy. That's when you feel calm. And you can just, your frames are intact, and now you're stable. Because now when that wheel, there's 7 of them, when that wheel within a wheel, within a wheel, within a wheel, within a wheel, and it looks like a sphere, and when all those wheels are pouring out, it makes this giant sphere around you, which is called your halo, or your crown. It might be a bridge too far for some people, but it begins to birth this orb around you that...
It's like a force field.
Like a force field, and it covers you. The Bible calls it a robe of righteousness. But that's what...
the armor of God.
Armor of God, yeah. And it's described in so many different things, because it has so many facets to it. It's multifaceted. It says you're founded upon a rock. Because a rock is a stone, but a stone and a rock is a stratagem. That's where you get strategies, like an armor to defeat an enemy. So, which is in darkness. That is the dark arts. So when you get the secret arts, you know what the dark arts are actually. Yeah. But dark arts is the ability to take those wheels and shut down certain bulbs.
You know how to now control it. You have full control of it.
Yeah, you want to. That means regenerate. When you're regenerating when that thing's birthed. But when you start to take it out and make sure, because there's 7 levels to birthing this thing,
Right.
you begin to degenerate someone, and now they wither up and die, right? Or they become hateful and bitter, and that's, like I said, a lot of these movements, like when I talked about the feminist movement, KKK, Black Lives Matter, those are two sides of the same coin. But feminism preaches, this is where seduction comes in, preaches women's rights, but they don't care about your rights. They don't care. They are using the celebrities of Hollywood to make women hateful. And thank God for someone like Candace Owens. Candace Owens is speaking on campuses and stuff, and she's a black woman, and she's against feminism, and she explains why, and it's very unhealthy. I know women want to feel empowered, but they're going about it the wrong way. I like the virtuous woman, like it says in Proverbs 31. That'll empower women. If that message is preached, and there's probably someone that's going to get a hold of this that will become that virtuous woman, that will get a platform and will be that image of what a woman's supposed to look like, and it's in their strongest state, the healthiest state, where they're stable and they're just full of compassion, love, mercy, and good fruit. Because a tree, if it's good, if they're good on the inside, they'll bear good fruit. And good fruit is love, joy, peace, goodness, kindness, self-control or temperance, gentleness, faithfulness. There's 9 of them. They're all in the book of Galatians in the Bible. I'm sure you've heard of it, but
Fruits of the Spirit.
yeah. So dark arts, on the left, there's left hand and right hand. This is all I'll say about it. There's a left hand art seduction. It sells you life, liberty, peace, and justice. That's why it's called social justice warriors. But in the end, it really destroys you and the group that you're going after. That's a left hand art seduction. That's in social policies. There's also economic seduction policies. That's probably another day. In essence, it's just pyramid schemes. The right hand art of separation is to hide the truth of the secret arts. That's ultimately what it is. Hide it or change it. That's why a lot of the doctrines in the Bible itself wasn't changed. I mean, there's many versions, but if you go back to the King James, it's the closest to the Greek and the Hebrew. That's why I like it's the most consistent, and you'll see it's the consistency in the translations. You'll begin to, if you just read it for yourself and you don't let someone else teach you anything, you might find it. Most people learn from a pastor or from like a professor at seminary, theology school. It's like how I learned. They change the interpretation, and one of the first books they changed was Job. Job is the key that they changed because it's the first book that was made for the entire canonized scripture. That's the oldest book out there. They changed the interpretation of that, and then the next one, the biggest thing they changed was in the New Covenant, the epistles that Paul wrote. They changed like what he did in his story, so it lined up with the new story of Job. And I have all that written out, and we're going to be doing, that's our next series coming up, is the original intent of the scriptures.
Yeah.
So if people come on my channel, they'll see all those being built. But you might want to get a little bit of backstory on the other ones. But you want to watch them over and over again. There's so much content.
Yeah.
Like literally, you want to study, take notes.
Yeah, and like for me, for instance, when I watch your stuff, I watch one video, and you put out so many videos that, one video is going to take me a week to digest, to really, like, I have to go back and listen to the first 10 minutes and really break that down to understand, and then go back and listen to it. That's what I need. I need things like that. That's what I look for. I don't know what you guys look for. Leave down in the comments below. But, I look for videos and things of that nature to, build the mind. Because, like I say, man, anybody could use these to fight, but the fight that's coming, we need to have this. This is where it's at. This connects to this. And once you have this on track and you know what you're standing for, all this will just come out. And so with your videos, yeah, I found that I have to, sit down, and you can't just watch it through and get it all. This is deep knowledge that it takes time. You're not going to understand it right away. Not everybody's meant to hear it. I really have an appreciation of you and what you do, because it takes time for you to really understand it, to be able to give it back. So
Yeah, I practice teaching it first on, it's a movement going on right now. So we're connected in other cities right now, connected in Oklahoma, Florida, Seattle, Ohio, Texas. I mean, we're spreading out. What we do is we bring people over here from other cities. I train them because in the end, we're working up to getting to infield. And this is the last thing I'll say about it is we're working to get to the infield experience. The infield experience, and you kind of seen it today, you can cold read and know everything that's in the air, everything that's about a person. Mm-hmm. It's almost like prophesying about, I mean, it pretty much is. It's how prophecy works. But we play a game. What we do is we say, we take someone new, someone like you or something. We say, all right, pick anybody here, anyone out there that you see. Like, all right, that person right there. And I start writing on a piece of paper everything about that person. Then my friend that's with me, he doesn't see the piece of paper, but he'll say everything that's on the paper. Then I show you. And then we do it again and again and again, prove that this is a science. We have the same lingo. We see the same things. They were doing it in pickup community. The dark arts uses the secret arts for seduction. So seduction also pours into how to, seduce women, like in the pickup artists, like VH1. That was a huge movement.
Well, they have that. They have the book out, The Art of Seduction.
Art of Seduction, yeah.
Yeah, I've breezed through that. I've breezed through that book, and there's a lot to intake too, man. That's a book you could take a year to get through, like the first couple chapters.
But people are using it to tear down society, and really, you should know what it is so you can know when society is being torn down and protect yourself from it and build it back up.
Yeah.
So you stand against it. None of this stuff is good. I mean, I've taught people what both sides were, and prematurely too, because one guy used the dark arts and it ruined our relationship, everything. It ruined his job. And I still use them today as an example. Like, don't use it. Understand what it is. But I also use an example of myself, not to teach someone too early. Although we're putting the information out there, there's a way people really only dive into it. They really want to know the truth and are about good things. If people want the dark arts and learn to seduce, they'll go to the pickup community. Mm-hmm. So it's already
there's a quick learn. There's like a quick shortcut that you can get to learn all this and stuff like that, but then that's how you fall into traps.
Right.
That's how you fall into, that's a trap. Oh, you don't need to take the long pathway. I have the shortcut right here for you, but little do you know that shortcut gets you to the end faster, as opposed to you taking the time to go around the hill and learn the terrain and understand what's going to be ahead of you, and so that when you do get there, you don't just fall off or fall into a hole. You have the knowledge and the ability to maneuver around it and defeat it and overcome it. Mm-hmm. So,
because we're not, I like the scripture. It says we're not ignorant of the devil's devices. This is the devices of the enemy, is the dark arts, what they call the Babylonian dark arts. There's a whole backstory to that. There's the origins of it. That's on my channel. Where do these things come from? I didn't know about the well, you're a second person who told me about the book of that Solomon book.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to check that out.
The greater key of Solomon, the lesser key of Solomon.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out. You guys probably want to check that out. I want to know what it says myself to see how close it is to what we got.
Yeah.
It's probably same stuff, but maybe taught in a different way.
Oh, so the lesser key of Solomon dives into how Solomon was able to summon a demon and not have the repercussions of it, and how to use that demon to do whatever he needed it to do. For instance, like, those big stones and major stones that were moved and stuff like that, like the pyramids and things like that, from what I believe, call me crazy if you want, but those were like spirits that wasn't human ability to lift those. Those were special spirits that were used to carry things, to move things, to create things. This world was theirs before ours. They were here before us.
That's a little too crazy for me. I think he's a conspiracy theorist.
It might be. Earth might be flat too. You never know.
Earth might be flat.
I appreciate your time, AJ, man.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to get out?
There's cool stuff coming.
That's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed another episode of That's the Point podcast. A lot of knowledge that was dropped today. Hope you guys go and do some more research, delve into it. If you guys were interested or things didn't make sense to you, check him out at Hollywood Hustle. He has all the breakdowns and origins of everything that he was talking about. I'm looking forward to watching more of his videos that he's dropped. Like I said, this video isn't for everybody. This is more of a knowledge delve into learning different things, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So be sure to like, share, subscribe on this, and go check him out, Hollywood Hustle. Link is below, link is below, link is below. Thank you very much, guys. Love you guys, and that is the point.